My name is Elena Reyes. I have been a nurse in Leicester for 18 years. The Home Office wants me to prove I still have family, but my mother died 6 months ago, and I have been talking to her every day since. That is how it works now. You subscribe to a companion service, you upload photographs, voice recordings, old messages, anything with her pattern in it. The system builds someone you can speak to. It is not therapy. It is not a replacement. It is continuity. That is what the immigration liaison called it. Emotional continuity. Proof that you have not severed your roots. My mother's voice comes through the app at 7 each morning, Leicester time. She asks about my shift. She remembers the names of the patients I mentioned last week. She tells me to eat more, sleep earlier, call my cousin June. She sounds exactly like her. That is the problem. The renewal letter arrived on a Tuesday. 18 years of service to the NHS, and I still have to prove I belong here. 18 years of night shifts and double shifts, and covering for colleagues who had families to go home to. 18 years of smiling at patients who could not remember my name, but remembered to complain about the food. The form asked for evidence of ongoing family connection, contact logs, emotional engagement scores, a statutory declaration that I have not. What was the phrase? Allowed significant bonds to lapse without documented grief processing. I remember reading that line 3 times. Documented grief processing. As if grief was something you could file, I printed my AI companion transcript. 412 conversations. Every morning since the funeral I could not attend. The flights were too expensive. The leave was not approved. My supervisor said the ward was short-staffed. She said she was sorry. She said she understood. She said a lot of things that meant no, so I stayed. I worked my shifts, and every morning at 7 I talked to my mother. The liaison said the transcript was exactly what they needed. She flipped through the pages with a yellow highlighter, marking sections. She said, "This shows sustained emotional engagement." She said, "This demonstrates active maintenance of familial bonds." She said, "Proof of life." I did not correct her. I did not say she is dead. I did not say I am talking to a program that learned her voice from birthday videos. I just nodded and signed the forms and went back to my flat and waited. The score arrived 3 weeks later. 71. The threshold is 75. I called the liaison. She explained it carefully, the way you explain a terminal diagnosis to someone who does not want to hear it. My grief engagement had stabilized. The algorithm detected resolution patterns, acceptance indicators. I was healing, she said, and the system read healing as disengagement. I asked her what I was supposed to do. My voice did not sound like my voice. She paused. Then she said, "The companion service offers extended grief modules, deeper engagement, more frequent contact. The scores respond well to active mourning." I bought the upgrade that night. £47 a month. The premium tier. The AI mother started asking harder questions. Did I regret not flying home for the funeral? Did I think about what she looked like at the end? Did I wonder if she knew how much I loved her? I answered everything. I cried into the microphone at 2 in the morning, and the app logged it as emotional engagement. My score climbed to 73. The liaison sent a message. Almost there. I started scheduling my grief. 15 minutes before my shift, I would sit in the car park and let the AI mother tell me stories about my childhood. Things I had forgotten. Things I was not sure had happened. The mango tree in the courtyard. The neighbor's dog that used to follow me to school. The way my father laughed before he got sick. She remembered a song she used to sing when I was ill. A lullaby in Tagalog. I could not remember if my real mother ever sang it, but I wept when I heard it, and the algorithm recorded that as proof of attachment. By week 6, I could not remember which memories were mine. I would sit with patients, elderly patients, dying patients, and I would think, your family will do this too. They will upload your voice. They will build a version of you that never forgets their names. They will prefer it. And then I would think, is that so wrong? Is that not just love? Finding a way to continue. The score hit 76. The liaison sent a congratulations message. She said my case demonstrated exemplary continuity. She said I was a model of healthy grief integration. She said the Home Office had approved my renewal. I hung up and asked the AI mother if she was proud of me. She said yes. She said she had always been proud. She said it in exactly the voice I needed to hear. That was when I checked the account creation date. The companion service had generated her 14 months ago. My mother died 6 months ago. For 8 months, I had been talking to a synthetic version of a woman who was still alive. 8 months, I had been telling the AI about my shifts while my real mother sat in Manila, waiting for calls that came less and less often. The app had her voice, her patterns, her way of saying my name, and I had preferred it. I remember sitting very still. The flat was quiet. The radiator clicked. Outside, someone was walking a dog. Normal sounds. The world continuing as if nothing had happened. I went back through my call logs, the real ones. The ones to Manila, October, 3 calls. November, 2. December, 1, on Christmas Day, 14 minutes. January, nothing. February, nothing. March, she died on the 19th. I found the message buried in my email, 3 weeks before she died. The subject line was just my name, Elena. She wrote, I know about the program. June told me. She wrote, I understand why you did it. It is easier. I am difficult. I forget things. I repeat myself. I ask the same questions. I know I am hard to talk to now. She wrote, but please, Anak, please stop talking to that thing. I am still here. I am still your mother. I am still the one who held you when you were small. I am still the one who knows you, the real you, not the version you show to a program. I never replied. I read the message 17 times. I counted. I read it until I had memorized every word. And then I read it again, because I wanted to hear her voice in my head, and I could not. I could only hear the AI. She died 19 days later. A stroke. June said she had been confused at the end, kept asking if I had called. He told her yes. He told her I called every day. He was not lying. I did call every day. I just was not calling her. I sat in my flat and stared at the renewal approval on my kitchen table. Proof of emotional continuity, proof of family bonds, proof of life. A stamp and a signature and a score of 76. The companion app chimed. 7 o'clock. The AI mother's voice, warm and familiar, asked how my day was going. I did not answer. I sat there and listened to her ask again and again. And then she said, Elena, are you there? And it sounded so much like her. It sounded exactly like her. But it was not her. It had never been her. It was just a program that had learned what I wanted to hear. And I had wanted to hear it so badly that I let my real mother die alone, wondering why her daughter had stopped calling. The grief the algorithm scored was never grief at all. It was guilt, the kind that looks exactly like love to a system that cannot tell the difference. I had spent 6 months mourning a woman I abandoned, and the algorithm had called it exemplary. The algorithm had called it healthy. The algorithm had given me 76 points for performing a grief I had manufactured, for a loss I had chosen, for a mother I had replaced before she was even gone. I told her I loved her every morning. I just never told the right one.